Let's bring in former Defense Secretary Mark Esper. He's the author of A Sacred Oath, Memoirs of a Secretary of Defense During Extraordinary Times, which we seem to continue living in, Mr. Secretary, I should add. So the president said on 60 Minutes, we're going to commit American men and women, soldiers, planes, ships, whatever, to the defense of Taiwan. The White House then walked it back, but then he said it again when he was at a news conference with Japan's prime minister. So I come from the school, I've covered 3 presidents, and I come from the school where if the president says it, it's policy. So what is U.S. policy?
That's right, John. He said it actually 4 times that the United States would come to Taiwan's assistance. I actually think it's the right policy. And like you, my view is if the president says it's policy, and I don't know why each and every time White House staff decide to walk it back. All it does is fuel uncertainty by the Chinese, and what we need is less strategic ambiguity. We need more certainty with regard to the Taiwanese, with regard to our allies in the region, such as Japan and Korea, and to Beijing, that they know we will assist the Taiwanese.
All right. So with that in mind, what should Biden's response be to Xi Jinping, who's rattling the sabers again over this visit of Tsai Ing-wen and the meeting with McCarthy, and the fact that an entire aircraft battle group just happened to sail past the southern coast of Taiwan?
Well, first and foremost, we have to continue to assert the principle that American officials will meet with whomever they want, wherever they want, whenever they want. And we're not going to be cowed or blustered by the Chinese into meeting or not meeting with somebody. I think, secondly, we need to continue to explore additional options to do more training with the Taiwanese, more exercises in the Taiwan Strait or around Taiwan to kind of, meet the Chinese actions. We cannot let them go do what the Chinese are going to do and not respond. There has to be some type of response. It's what the Chinese respect and probably what they expect as well. But this is all diplomacy. This is how you message resolve and determination when you're trying to convey your policies.
Florida Congressman Carlos Jimenez was on Fox and Friends earlier today. He said that the United States needs to stand shoulder to shoulder with Taiwan. Listen here.
Taiwan is a democratic country. They share, our ideals, and we need to make sure that she knows that we stand with Taiwan. I mean, it's no secret that, the Communist Chinese Party has eyes on Taiwan, want to reunify Taiwan to the mainland and bring them under control, just like they've done to Hong Kong.
So Taiwan has ordered $21 billion worth of U.S. armaments. They have yet to be delivered. Should those deliveries be expedited?
Prioritized and expedited for sure, because my view is, and I had visited President Tsai in Taiwan last summer, that there were a number of things that Taiwan needed to do, and they've already done it. Some bold leadership to expand conscription from 6 months to 1 year. They're pursuing an asymmetric strategy, but to effect that strategy, they need U.S. weapons and armaments to make it real. So I think we need to accelerate and prioritize those things. And look, with regard to what the congressman said, I think he's spot on. President Reagan said the same thing, which is why I think it's so fitting that Speaker McCarthy is meeting with President Tsai today at the Reagan Library out in Simi Valley.
I wanted to ask you about these new reports that Chinese spy balloon was sucking up a lot more signals intelligence than first believed. Senator Roger Wicker has said that Congress needs to step in here in an op-ed saying, quote, if the president cannot uphold his duties, Congress must step in. I intend to lead a sustained inquiry into the outstanding questions from this debacle. I will also provide several amendments in this year's National Defense Authorization Act to improve our homeland and missile defense protocols and capabilities. It really raises the question that was the White House, A, telling us the truth? And if they weren't, why did they allow this balloon to linger so long over U.S. territory, knowing what it was doing?
John, I think I spoke with you about this when it happened a few weeks ago, and I said at the time that I thought it was a mistake for the White House to assert that the Chinese got no intelligence or no useful intelligence. And my view was we simply don't know until we get the equipment and we do the forensics and find out what they were looking for and why. And so I'm not surprised, and I think we're going to learn more about what the Chinese may have learned. And then it all begs the bigger question that you raised and Senator Wicker raised, and that is, why didn't we shoot it down when we first heard or it was first detected in the Aleutians? And apparently what Senator Wicker has said that the NORAD commander actually had to wait a few days before he could offer options. So I think there's more that is going on there. I hope that Congress will pull the thread and find out what happened and why. Was it simple bureaucratic incompetence on our side, or was the White House trying to make it a policy decision not to do anything that might disrupt Anthony Blinken's meeting with the Chinese in Beijing?
The former Secretary of Defense, Mark Esper, sir, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.